What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to where the weird ones are.
Yeah. Weird ones only, we talking that truth. Ghost in the attic, yeah, show me the proof. Aliens creeping, they light in the roof. Minds wide open, we shatter the booth. Conspiracies deep, we dig in the scars. Demons and angels and bodies on Mars. Cryptids be watching, they lurk in the dark. Mental on edge, but we glowing like stars. Welcome to the pod, no cap, it's a seance. Whispers in the static, spirits doing dance. Reptiles in suits, yeah, running the lands. MK Ultra made a puppet of your mans. Wendigo hunger, dogman strut, flat woods, eyes glow. Slice through the cut, Bigfoot tagging trees. Marking the trail, weird ones ride, no room for the frail. Talking about trauma, talking that soul. Peeling back layers, we dig in a hole. Sacred geometry, numbers align. Ancestors speak through the veil in the sign. Ayahuasca dreams, third eye lit. Shadow self lurking, we making it spit. No mainstream lies. This the dirt where the weird ones rise from the blood and the hurt. Weird ones only, we talking that truth. Ghosts in the attic, yeah, show me the proof. Aliens creeping, they light in the roof. Minds wide open, we shatter the booth. Conspiracies deep, we dig in the scars. Demons and angels and bodies on Mars. Cryptids be watching, they lurk in the dark. Mental on edge, but we glowing like stars. Voices in the woods got chills on the neck. Black-eyed kids at the door, now we check. CIA tapped in, fluoride drip. Project Bluebeam, watch that script. Talking about grief, talking about fear. Talking about why them voices appear. Healing the mind while breaking the chain. Spiritual warfare deep in the brain. We don't run from the strange, we live in the strange. Tattoo the truth and the scars and the pain. Stay weird, the mantra we own in the name. Reality bends, so we bend to the same. From the attic to the swamp, we tracking the freak. Where the veil get thin and the silence speak. We ain't your norm, we off that grid. Weird as the wave, yo, this where we live.
What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to another episode of Where the Weird Ones Are. My name is Kevin, but you probably already knew that, and if you didn't, now you do. Today's episode is with a lady named Lindsey. She's very lovely, very bubbly. I actually really enjoyed talking to her, not only in this episode, but outside of it. A very fun person to conversate with. She has quite a bit of experiences. I do believe she has more, so she might make a second appearance. I don't know. Who knows? Only time will tell. But she is making. She's going to be hosting her own podcast eventually soon with David from Down the Rabbit Hole, his sister. So she's good friends with his sister. So be on the lookout for that. Obviously, I'm going to help promote it and stuff. I'll get you guys, let you know where it's at and all that stuff. But quick shout out to the sponsor, Flavors of the Forest. Ooh. This stuff is so yummy. So, season your meat. You're not going to go wrong. You like garlic dust, Bigfoot's breath is the way to go. Check them out. Flavorsforce.com. That is where you can get yourself some bottles. Maybe get 100 bottles. I don't know. But Nelson and Matt are phenomenal people, and I really enjoy having them sponsor the show. So the most potent garlic powder out there is this shit right here. I haven't had anything better. So I put it on fucking pretty much everything. So again, flavorsforest.com. You can also follow them on Instagram at flavorsforest as well. So check them out. Also, wildbeautyproducts.com. God damn, the lighting. I need to do something about the lighting in here so you guys can see the shit that I'm trying to show you. They got moisturizer. It is whipped tallow moisturizer. All natural ingredients. Very good for you and your skin. My skin feels so much better since I've been using it. They also have chapstick. They have a whole lot of other stuff. So wildbeautyproducts.com. Go check them out. Other than that, I think that's pretty much everything. So if you are struggling mentally, please dial 988 if you are experiencing any kind of mental crisis. They are equipped to assist you and give you resources on how to help yourself or even help somebody else. Because if you have found yourself face to face with somebody who is and you're having a crisis and you're trying to help them and you don't really know how, that you can call them and they can give you tips, they can give you resources, all that stuff. So please stay another day. When God made this fantastic earth, fantastic universe, everything that he put here on earth, he decided that it needed one of you, and bam, you exist. So stay another day. The sun always shines after the rain. So also, real quick, if you haven't yet, check out my book, The Adventures of Rizzo and Weird Son Monster Hunters, Hollow in the Pines, book number 1. It's on Amazon. If you can't find it by looking up the title of the book, just look up my name, Kevin Sapiel Jr., and you'll be able to find it. Let me know what you think. Please, if you do check it out, please leave a rating and a review on Amazon. I would greatly appreciate it. Book number 2 is coming out soon. So if you have had any experiences or you know a lot about a conspiracy or you want to talk about spirituality and or your testimonial of when you realized to let go of all this silly shit and to put your faith in Jesus or whatever, anything, and you want to talk about it, hit me up where the weird ones are at gmail.com. Also follow me where underscore the weird ones are on Instagram. And let's set something up if you're interested. All right. Let's get into this conversation with Lindsey, shall we? Where the weird ones go production.
Hey, this is Rochelle Stratton, and you are listening to Kevin with Where the Weird Ones Are. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Fancy.
Fancy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Where the Weird Ones Are. So happy to have you here. Today I have a very lovely lady to talk to. We'll see what kind of story she has, and her name is Lindsey. And I will let her introduce herself because she does have a. I don't know if you're gonna try and promote right now, but she does have a podcast that she's gonna be doing soon. So we'll see.
Yeah.
How's it going, Lindsey?
It's going, man. Up in the morning here in Texas. Good old 7-Eleven.
Did you the flood missed you, I hope, obviously.
It a smidge of it did. I do live in between two river access here with San Marcos River. So that weekend, which made no sense to me, they told me we were under evacuation, but yet they had our streets barricaded and we had cops on every other corner. And they just kind of came to the house and was like, hey, we're under evacuation, but don't leave. And do you have an attic? And I was like, yes. And they're like, okay, well, get to your attic. And do you have a sharp tool or sharp, object to break through the roof in case the flood comes? So that way I can escape. And I was just like, yeah, sure. Me and my Noah's Ark of all these cats and dogs, we're going to make it happen. But it was scary because I'm not from Texas. So my friends were checking in on me because they're like, hey, you're not used to Texas weather or Texas flooding. Do you need anything? What's up? So yeah, it was scary, but like my heart goes out to every one of what happened, a couple miles away.
Yeah, same. I've been hearing a lot of stories. I heard a story of a gentleman that they were trapped in their, I think it was a trailer they were living in, and it was his wife, and I think it was either 2 or 3 kids, and they were trapped, and they couldn't get the windows open, so he broke open the window with his hand, and it sliced an artery in his arm, and he pushed the kids and his wife out the window, and he died, but the family survived.
That's rough. Like, yeah, I was seeing about like people who are just stuck in trees. It's ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I don't know, it made me think of David, who you don't know, but you kind of know.
Right?
And I
Known
was
through
like,
association, sibling.
yeah. So, and then I was like, oh, well, it's not really San Antonio, so I think David should be all right. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, scary stuff. That, I don't know. It makes me wonder, like, should we be living in areas that stuff like this happen? Like, you got like what happens so in California, you got the landslides, the side of the fucking mountains coming down, mudslides, and
Oh
I
yeah.
think in Asia that stuff like that happens, like earthquakes that break open the freaking ground and stuff like that.
It's insane what nature can do. Like,
Mm.
she is not to be ever messed with. Like, some sinkholes started happening after the floods here. Not
Mm.
here, but over by where the floodings were happening.
Yep.
There's been discoveries of these sinkholes that are just like, and it just makes me think of the movie This Is the End. Like, ooh, this is happening.
Mm-hmm. I get to take my cum and I'll put it on you.
I wouldn't mind waking up to Danny McBride making like all the breakfast and everything. I'll be like, awesome. You're an asshole. You just used up all the food, but hey, guess we'll eat it now.
All right. Oh my God, I love that movie. That's hilarious.
It's so good.
So, for everybody listening, Lindsey and I kind of connected through movie quoting. So that has been absolutely the most, like, the highlight of a lot of my days, because not a lot of people can go back and forth with me on movie quotes, and it's been pretty fun.
Nice. Yeah. It's me, Jessica.
A lot of people don't get that.
No, I feel like that movie was definitely skipped over. That's what it was.
Very
Like,
underrated.
it was so underrated. And that was back of the days of going to see, we didn't go to Blockbuster. We support like the local DVD and VHS people. And I just remember like seeing it on there. Rob Schneider, come on. And just seeing him like in the pink tank top and just being like, all right, it's Friday night and my mom has a coupon. Like, let's go. And then watching it and was like, what? And then quoting it afterwards, and my mom's like, what do you mean you're cool if you pee with your penis? And I was like, you don't get it, Mom. And now, 20 years later, I'm like, it's not a phase, Mom. I think you're cool because you can pee with your penis.
Oh man, I went to see that movie in theaters with my best friend in high school. So, because I remember, because Anna Faris from she was Scary Movie. She was black hair, fucking and stuff, and then she comes on screen, and I was just like, "Whoa, she's blonde! Like, that's crazy to me. I did not know that. Was not expecting that." And she's attractive, because they didn't make her look very attractive in Scary Movie, like, and obviously on purpose, but
for sure.
But yeah, she's an attractive woman. I was like, oh shit.
That's why I got to see House Bunny again. I love her in that.
I've only watched it once.
Missing out.
I know. That's what they say. I miss out on everything.
You remember I was like, I'll come bring you the DVD. That'll be great. You're like, yeah, good luck with that one.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
What?
She's like, I'll drop off the DVD. And I'm like, if you want to drive 24 hours. She's like, what are you talking about? Aren't you in San Antonio? I'm like, fucking no.
Nope. But hey, the intention was there. Like, I was like, I'm going to bring back like Blockbuster, and I'm going to drive over DVDs to people. Be like, you need to watch this movie. People be like, I could stream it. And I'm like, no, I'm going to come over. We're going to watch it. Maybe that could be something fun.
That could be a something fun.
That could be a something. Like
Uh-huh.
Uber Eats, but like Uber watch a movie with me. Ooh.
Uber movie companion.
Like, hey, here's a movie you haven't seen, and then it's like, well, you should watch it.
Yes.
I think we're onto something. I'm writing this down right now.
You better write it down before somebody else takes your idea.
Copyright. Gonna get my lawyers. Nobody else.
I have a ton of VHSs behind this screen here. And I have a VHS player. I think it's out in the garage though. But I'm surprised that I still have it. And then you sent me a picture of a VHS player with some VHSs. I was like, what?
I have 2 VHS players.
Ah.
Yeah, back from good old youth.
It's interesting to see the way technology has changed throughout our lives. When obviously when we were kids, it was just strictly VHS, and then as we're getting older, it's DVD. To now, you can download it.
Yeah,
and it'd be there in like 2 seconds.
So I don't know if this is just me, but I still have the fears of even live like streaming, and I want to rewind for some reason in my head. So I'm like, I can't go too fast because it's going to ruin the tape. And then I have to go, oh my gosh, Lynn, you're streaming this. Like, you don't have to worry about that life anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about Beacon Rewind no more.
But I'm like, I don't want to ruin the tape if I'm going too fast. Hold on. Man.
I've definitely done that a few times, and to some really good movies, and I'm like, this is terrible. My life sucks. But obviously it didn't, but it did at the same time, just because I was mad.
Yeah. How are you going to get that back?
Right. How am I going to get back? Or it would be a movie that my parents liked, and I'll be like, oh, they're going to kill me.
No.
So it's only happened to me like 3 times, but still.
It's enough. It affected.
So, anywho.
Yeah, the reason we're here.
You've had a few paranormal experiences, and I wanted to dig into those and see what they were and talk about them. So, however you want to start them, whether it's you want to start with the most recent, or if you want to start with like your first time ever experiencing.
Yeah. For sure. So, good old. So I grew up in South Jersey, Philadelphia region, and we got some stuff happening behind me. Sorry about that. So growing up there, my childhood, my parents were drinkers, and where this is playing a part is we had basements. So it would be every time mom and dad would argue, I'd go into the basement. And as I was in the basement, there was this man who always appeared. Like, he never talked to me. He never said anything to me. He was, believe it or not, he was clear as day. He was dressed in a suit. He had on, the way I described him, even to this day, he was dressed like a 1920s, 1930s gangster. Like,
whoa.
He always kept a briefcase by his side. Of course, like, my family never believed me, but he only appeared once the arguing started happening. Like, I could be in the basement any other time, never showed up. But once the arguing and the fighting started happening, he would just hang out and kind of keep guard at the bottom of the stairs.
So, like, between you and your parents, like between you and the door?
Yeah, like, our basement, like, it went down this way with the staircase, and you kind of had like walk around to be opened up to the room. So it was almost like he was just kind of the lookout, in a sense, like if anyone was going to come down the stairs.
Okay.
And Yeah, so he started appearing to me when I was about like 3 or 4.
Wow.
And he stuck with me until my parents stopped drinking, until I was like 12. Because it
No
was just like,
shit.
yeah, I
And
did.
full looked 100% like he was really there.
Yeah, like I could just like look over. It got to the point I wasn't scared of him because I used to try to talk to him. I would go up to him. It's not like he poofed off or vanished, but it was the same thing of like having the newspaper like this, and it was like he was waiting for something. And as I got older, I was just like, was there a bus stop here? What's up? What is this? Like, why is this? But no, there's no history of a bus stop being there or any reason for someone to be in that position. So I kind of
Hmm.
took it as guardian angel in a sense.
Yeah. You're
But
talking
I
to
was,
my girl all wrong.
yeah. Hey, what are you doing? Come on now. It's a kid.
Yeah.
Stop arguing over here. Uh, but I was sad. I was happy my parents stopped drinking. Yay. But
Yes.
sad that he went away. And then I was almost just kind of like, hey, can you guys like do something? I want my friend back.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And he never once said a word the whole time.
no, never, ever.
Hmm.
He just always stayed by my side. He kept guard. And then as soon as it wasn't like as soon as they stopped arguing, it would just be moments after. And then I would just look over and be like, all right. And that was just our routine.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. I would like to see a physical body apparition. I've come close in my life. But like I don't know, there's been a few people that have been on that have talked about seeing like somebody that it was like an actual person and they couldn't tell that it was a ghost or anything like that, but then they would disappear after, like just randomly and have no way of getting out. I don't know, that's absolutely fascinating to me for it to be that when it physically manifests like that. I feel like it want absolutely 100% hands down did all the work to make you see it.
Yeah. Like I always felt safe. I was never scared.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was more bummed out of going up and talking, and like never acknowledged me, never looked at me. Like he just kept straight on, would read his paper, fold the paper up under the arm. Like it was weird. It was almost like a loop. You know what I mean? Like that was
Mm.
his routine, was like paper, then paper under the arm, pick up suitcase, and then repeat.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. And was it only in the basement, or did you
Only in the
see him in
basement.
other places? Okay.
Nope. Only same exact spot in the basement. That was it. And then with our house and the way that the stairs were, because nobody ever believed me. And my brothers are 14 and 12 years older than me. And then I'm the only girl, like the little sister. But you would always hear someone come down the stairs and you're waiting for like the head to come around and nothing. Like, and my parents were always working. So they were just like, you're just making up things. But when
Mm-hmm.
my parents retired, oh, this was like my glory moment. So my parents retire and we're all in the basement watching movies. And all of a sudden, clear as day, you hear the like down the steps. And they're like, and I'm just still watching the movie because I'm like, yeah, that always happens. Like you guys aren't aware of it. And they're like, how many, does this always happen? And I was like, oh, all the time. I said, someone comes down the stairs and you're just waiting for them to pop out and nothing. And then we would always hear, so my brother had an experience when they moved into the house that there was someone who would walk from, we had this long hallway and they would just walk back and forth on the hallway. Now, I never got to experience them, but both my brothers have. And they would talk to it because they're thinking it's one of those guys like, yo, dude, what are you doing right now?
Mm-hmm.
but you would hear it, and especially in the basement, the clear as day footsteps just going back and forth.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was nice and glorifying when my parents retired and we're just all hanging out together and I was like, "What, you don't know your house? Like this is what happens, guys. We got a free
That's
roommate here."
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. My for me, I feel like, geez, excuse me. If my throat would like to cooperate with my voice. Um, for me, growing up, my parents always subtly believed, like, they would acknowledge like little things, but other than that, they basically would say something like, "Oh, you're just having a dream," or something. "You just had a daydream," or something like that. And I was just like, I don't think that's it, because I feel like I would feel rested if I was sleeping. You know, something like
Yeah.
that. But my dad was always into like Stephen King stuff,
Oh,
and my
yeah.
mom kind of sort of was too. But my dad's super into sci-fi and stuff, so like all the weirdness I get from my dad for sure.
Yeah.
Um, which is which it's something that I like to do with my kids now. Is when my parents split up when I was really young, and I barely ever saw my dad afterwards. But when I did, a lot of times we would have movie nights, and it would just be us. And then once he started seeing my stepmom, it would be my step siblings. So my stepbrother and sister, my brother and sister, and we'd all cuddle up on the floor and watch movies, and we'd watch horror movies and sci-fi movies, and there'd be like one kids movie. We'd start off with that, and then it'd be the movie that my dad wanted, and it was always a good time. And a lot of times, like, either everybody else would already be sleeping, or they would have gone like my dad would pop in his movie, they were like, "All
Yeah.
right, I'm out of here. I know I don't want to see this because it's gonna scare me." And I would sit there and I'd just stay there and I'd be like, "Oh my god, this is scary!" And hold the
Yeah,
blanket up like this.
that was always me. See, that was the downfall with having older brothers, because they lived for scaring me. And we're talking a 14 and 12-year age difference here. We're not talking
Mm-hmm.
like 3 or 4. So my brothers would put on Halloween mask and then hide under my bed, wait
Oh
until I go to
shit.
sleep. Oh, yeah, like I was tortured. I don't know about you, but my mom had the plastic mats down to protect the carpet, but if you flip it over, there's spikes on it. Did you guys have those? Or
No.
do you know what I'm talking about, though?
I do know what you're talking about,
Okay,
yes.
so imagine this. Me at this happened my entire life, from 4 until in my 20s, that the best time to get you is if you go into the hallway bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
and every time they would flip over the mat, and we're talking, my brothers are in their 20s at this point, and they would
Uh-huh.
flip over the mat, and I would walk out, and the pain was so bad that I would just stay still screaming like, "Ah!" And they're like, "Ah!" And I was like, "Guys, like, what is this?" So I
This
was
fucking hurts, you fucking
Oh,
retards.
it hurts so bad, but they lived for those moments. But like even then, we didn't have cameras. You know what I mean? Like you would have to take out the nice giant camera to get my reaction for it. But man,
Mm-hmm.
they would do that. But whenever they had a girl over, and I would sneak downstairs and hide behind the couch, and then I would watch all like Freddy Krueger and Jason, and I just wanted to be like part of them and be like, I can totally hang. But I like to think that to make me as awesome as I am today, because I forced myself to watch that because I was like, don't tell me I can't do it. Don't tell me it's too scary. And then
Yeah.
they would chase me around with like a Michael Myers mask, and I'm like, come on, man. So yeah, so my parents were very much like, it's all in your head. It's because you watch scary movies with your brothers and
Yeah.
you're making this up. It's your imagination. So that's why I was so excited when stuff, or I guess they start really noticing, you know what I mean? Like they were
Yeah.
tired. They're not stressed about, okay, I have to get this ready and this ready and this ready. So their guard was down.
Right.
And they really got to experience everything that I experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, welcome.
welcome to the club.
Yeah, we'll get you a T-shirt. We got bumper stickers.
we got these nice coffee mugs.
That's awesome.
My introduction is kind of the same way. I think I was like 4 because it was around like I was about 4 when I had my first experience too. But I was like 4 years old. We were at a card game night for the family. Like I think we were at one of my uncle's houses, and everybody was there, grandparents, parents, playing cards. I was sitting on the couch with my cousin and my other cousins, and my older brother was there. My sister was too young to freaking acknowledge anything. So I think she was, I don't actually, when I think about this memory, I don't know where my sister was, but she was definitely like, because she's only a year and a half younger than me. So if I was 4, she was like 2.5, 3
Yeah.
almost. But anyways, so, did your mother ever like knit blankets at all?
No, because my mom was cool.
Okay. So my grandmother did, and my mom ended up doing some blankets at one point when we were kids, and they always had these like little holes in them,
Yeah.
right? And so my cousin, she put on fucking Child's Play 2, and it was on the scene of the dad walking down the basement stairs and fucking Chucky fucking hooking his leg and he falling down and fucking being hung upside down.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And I fucking picked up the blanket to hide my face, and I could see everything happening because of all the holes in the blanket. I was like, ah! And my cousin, she thought it was the fucking funniest thing in the freaking world. So she was like 9, I was 4.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, so she obviously was not scared. So she thought it was hilarious that I was scared. And I was mad after that. And then I think around the same time too, my parents were watching It, in that like opening scene where he's in the clothesline thing, like in between the clothes, and then his face gets really mad. He's like, "Rah!" and fucking charges the camera. I was like, oh my God, and I ran. And I never watched It after that. So I was like always terrified of clowns, and I still kind of am uncomfortable with clowns. But I think I was about 12 years old when I actually sat down and was like, all right, let's fucking face our fears here and watch this fucking movie all the way through. So.
And then you got through it.
I did. And now I have a book of it right here.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, right there. So, did you guys does your parents still own this house?
So we did up until, oh gosh, like I guess 10 years ago, when my mom suddenly passed away, and it was just more of like my dad's like, I can't be here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything reminded him of her.
Yeah.
So he skedaddled. And then it was awesome. They gave me the house. But everything was my mom. Like, I felt bad if I was to like repaint or to do anything cosmetic wise to the house.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is my parents' house. Like I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what brought me here to Texas, because I was like, I want to get away from everyone and everything that reminds me of her. And then I scooted my boot down to Texas.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thanks, man.
I mean, my parents are all right, I guess, in a sense. Let's just say, I mean, the listeners know a lot about, issues between my mom and stuff, but I feel like I still wouldn't handle a passing very well.
Oh.
So, my grandparents are like 80, and I know it's an inevitable. It's the only thing that's promised is death in this life. So I know it's going to happen, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it, because my grandfather specifically is like the man that I want to be, Like when I think of what a man should be, it's him and
Yeah.
my uncle Keith, who passed away a few years ago, which is his brother. Like they're like the epitome of what a man is supposed to be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, and my grandfather taught me how to tie my shoes. Um, I wish he fucking took me hunting. He took my older brother hunting, but he never took me. And I was like, why aren't you taking me hunting? And he also took my cousin, who's a year younger than me, hunting.
Man.
And I'm like, why am I not going?
Like, because you're the kid who uses a knitted blanket to hide to watch. He's like, can't trust this guy.
But yeah, I know it's like obviously death is inevitable for all of us, but I just don't know. Like there's so many people that I know if they go well, a lot of them definitely will go before me, but I just don't know if I can handle some of them very well.
Oh, it's rough. And there's some people like when I talk to them and I'd be jealous of the people who had like the buildup of like, okay, this is going to happen any day now. Let's say our goodbyes. And then the people would tell me saying, no, like I wish there was no buildup. I wish there was no, like, I wish it would just happen. So it's just until you're in those shoes, you're always just going to think the grass is greener on the other side. Like, oh, I wish I knew. But yeah, it was just very random, you know. Her heart was beating 3 times fast, and she was supposed to have surgery like a week and a half before she passed.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
And I remember that. So I definitely feel like my mom played a huge part in this, because my brothers both said, so my brothers at the time, one was in Texas, the other one's in Alabama. And around the time of her death, they both have said to me, they heard my mom's voice clear as day in their ear saying, I love you. And they were like, what? And we didn't talk about this until, weeks later about it. And it was just like, whoa. And then my brothers were like, wait, you had that experience too? And I have one brother who's just such a non-believer. Like he's just like, this is bogus. I don't believe it, And then the morning of her death, my mom got her dream bathroom built in the basement. We finally got a bathroom in the basement, so we didn't have to keep going up the stairs and hanging out with the ghost up there. And out of nowhere, and there's no reason for it, but it just started flooding. And my dad's like, hey, I need your help down here. And so like, it's not that I wasn't close with my dad. We're best friends, but we had to super teamwork together. And it was just kind of like a scene from the Poltergeist. Like the toilet just kept like flowing water, and we were just like, what is happening right now? So shop vacs, we're cleaning. We're like, oh my gosh, we just did this. And like my dad finished the tiling on it. And he's like, your mom can't see this. Like she's going to freak out. She's going to have a panic attack. We were so focused for hours doing that. We're laughing together and just like, what is this? Like, what's happening? And my dad would keep going upstairs and he would go check on my mom and he's like, she's still sleeping. And then the shop vac there's no reason for it, but then the shop vac started spewing water. And we were like, what? So my dad and I handle stress by laughing. Like the worst thing could be happening. And we're just like, what? This is insane. So many hours pass by and I realize I have to go pick up my son. My dad's like, go ahead. I got this. I'm going to go make your mom breakfast. I'm going to go wake her up. Like why is she sleeping so long? And then he called me. But when he called me and I answered the phone, he didn't say anything. And I just went, she's dead, isn't she? And he went, did you know when you left? And I said, nope. I was like, but I just had this gut feeling like leaving the house. I was like, I just know. And I felt really bad for my brothers because now I think about it, I hate it that I called them and it was a shock, but it was insensitive. But I was like, Mom's dead. You got to come home. So I regret that. I wish it was handled better, but when you're in a state of emotion, I couldn't just be like, hey man, how's your day going? So this happened. But where I'm getting at with that is my dad was a golfer, and he taught golf. And my dad was into woodworking as well. So he had this tray, a display case of golf balls. And some were carved with faces on them. But we also had brands, we had our Philadelphia Flyers, ones that said Texas on it because my brother was living in Texas. So it was just this array of golf balls. So I remember the night of my mom's viewing, and my brother, who is so avid that ghosts aren't real, it's not happening. And we were like, oh man, I wonder if mom's gonna pull something on us. I wonder if she's gonna give us a sign. So my brother goes, you know what, mom? This is true. If ghosts are real. And it was just one of those sarcastic, being a sasshole. And he was like, why don't you give us a sign? What's up? And he's just standing there. It makes me think of Anna Faris and Scream. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting? He was definitely doing that whole, what are you waiting for? And nothing happened. And he was like, see, it's all in your head. So we come home from the viewing, and my brothers, were they married? Yeah. So his wife didn't know that we put pots and pans inside the oven, as that's your storage spot. So she's heating up the oven, almost sets the house on fire. So we had this fun distraction with that, being what are you doing? And she's like, who puts stuff in the stove? Pots and pans. And we're like, we do. Where else are you supposed to put them? So we go downstairs, and my dad's golf ball display, all the golf balls were missing. All the golf balls were missing. Now, understand this. Nobody was home because we were all at that viewing. So all the golf balls are missing. And I noticed it right away because it was just one of those things. You come downstairs and you're greeted by golf balls.
Golf balls, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, Mark, you got to get down here. I was like, you got to see this. And he was like, you did this. You did this. And I was like, nah, man, I don't. And the crazy thing was, everyone who came home to visit, because of all their suitcases were downstairs, everybody had their own golf ball with their luggage or with their backpack. And it was just what? Come on, is this not mom? This is mom.
Yeah.
So I made sure to keep those golf balls. So I still have them. I got to break them out. But when I was packing up to move, I was like, I'm taking these. I was like, because this was her communication with us.
Yeah. So you're fresh in Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I definitely sorry. When it comes to personal stuff, it kind of chokes me up a little bit, but do you think that the whole bathroom mess was her?
Oh,
Maybe
absolutely.
either helping connect you and your dad a little bit as a last goodbye, or she's like, we finally got this fucking bathroom and I'm pissed now because I can't use it.
Oh man, that's pretty good. No, she wouldn't. I think it was more, I always took it as teamwork.
Yeah.
My dad and I never had to do a project that hardcore together. And it did require a lot of communication. So I just always took it as here's a distraction. Plus, I almost feel maybe we weren't ready to find her dead yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like she caused this distraction for it. And as I said, my dad and I were just like laughing. We even splashed each other. We did singing in the rain just because we're both goofballs. And I was just like, look what I can do. And I'm doing that. So I was like, oh, I'm creating more of a mess. Maybe I shouldn't. But it had us get like super strong with it. Like it was just like, all right, all hands on deck. We got to do this together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it definitely broke that threshold of it.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And the golf ball thing. I don't know.
I love it.
Like, I like the idea, but at the same time, like coming down the stairs and seeing that, and then I would be like, I'm out of here, burn the house down.
I just like really love it that it kind of like shut my one brother up. You know what I mean? Because he's so like, nope, you die and you go here or here. And we're like, nah, bro. Like, that's not how it works. And then I think that's when it came up about, he's like, well, I did hear mom say, I love you, like clear as day in my ear right before you called me. And then my brother Ted was like, I heard the same thing. And it was like, see, I was like, how can you deny that? But he was just like, nope, didn't happen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The skeptics, sometimes they interest me with how they think. It's funny because I want to make a documentary in my hometown about like spooky stuff, and I posted on a group thing, and I got people laughing at me and stuff. So like skeptics are a strange bunch. Obviously, it doesn't. I don't know if your brother ever made fun of you for believing or not, but
oh yeah,
I think that's a weird coping mechanism for them because they can't explain something that happened, so they'll just make fun of you for what you think instead.
Classic bully.
Yeah. Unfortunately, but like all of my family believes, at least the majority of them. I've had some ghost experiences with my sister. I think my younger brother believes. I'm pretty sure my older brother believes. My dad definitely does. We got into a conversation when I started the podcast. I had a medium tell me that my grandfather wished that he was a better dad, but he thinks that that I'm breaking what the fuck was it called?
The cycle?
Yeah. And my dad facilitated that to be instilled into me.
Yeah.
So like my dad wasn't great, but he wasn't bad either. And my grandfather was an alcoholic and was verbally and physically abusive and stuff. And I was telling my dad this and all this stuff, and he's like, when he was, about to pass away, he did tell me that he was sorry and that he wished he was a better dad. So, it's really interesting how things play out. So I know my dad believes.
Yeah, for sure. My mom was, we come from a family of Jewish gypsies.
Jewish gypsies.
Jewish gypsies, yeah, because there's many different types of Jewish types out there. And so we were kind of like the outcast, very much like the nomads traveling around. And so that's where my mom's side of the family. Yes, there we go. And I loved it because Peaky Blinders kind of like touched on that a smidge, but they were Romanian. And I was like, yo, what's up? I was like, this is our family history. This is awesome. And so my mom was a believer and her family was very, like, we have a crystal ball that's been passed down to the women of the family. So mediums are huge with us. And my mom was like, huge believer. My
Mhm.
dad was, I know it's there, but I don't want to acknowledge it because then I'll be crazy
Yeah.
like my wife and my daughter. So can't have that.
Yeah.
But yeah, skeptics, I feel like you said, like it's the bully, like, and that's just with anybody with anything. You don't understand, and they're just going to put it down or make you feel less of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just sad.
Absolutely. That is sad. It was very sad.
Yeah,
I think it goes into a lot of things too. And it's not just the paranormal stuff. You always got people like I don't want to talk about it, but politics is one. If you're
yeah,
on one side or the other, you're talking shit about this side. If you're on this side, you're talking shit about this side, and it just causes more divide, and I don't understand it.
yeah.
But and then if like when I started the podcast, there was a lot of people telling me that I'm never gonna make it or whatever, and I was like, that's not what I'm trying to do. I just want to talk to people about ghost stuff. I'm like not trying to be fucking Joe Rogan over here. Like, so fucking
Right.
leave me the fuck alone. You know?
I got with the podcast that Amanda and I are starting, I I've been hearing good things about it, but from a lot of men. Like this one person told me, guys don't like that.
Wait, what?
And yeah,
Don't
yeah.
like that women have a podcast?
Um, so our Amanda and I's podcast, Amanda and I met because we were dating the same guy.
Oh
And
shit.
yeah. So Amanda had been with him for almost 2 years.
Uh-huh.
And then I come into the picture, no idea he has a girlfriend or anything. And every time he takes a phone call, it's like, oh, it's my mom, it's my sister. And I was like, oh, all right, cool. Like you do you.
Mm-hmm.
But she found me on Instagram and was like, hey, that's my boyfriend. And I was like, hey, show me screenshots. Like, I don't know you. Like, I don't know if
Yeah.
you're trying to pull something. Oh, she sent me screenshots. The best part was like he would send her a selfie and me the same exact selfie. And I would make jokes about it because I was like, oh, you definitely were the main girlfriend because you got the picture a few minutes before me. I was like, according to the timestamp. So I'm just making jokes out of it. Like I was like, this sucks. But
Yeah.
come on, man.
That does
Yeah.
suck, dude.
So yeah, and it all happened this year too. So she and I
Oh shit.
yeah. So she and I just recently met physically on April 24th on her birthday. Because I was like,
Wow.
yeah, because I was just like, hey, we should meet. And she's like, yeah, but it's my birthday. And I was like, what are you doing for your birthday? I was like, let me take you out. So I took her and her son and my daughter out, and we just hit it off right away. And we love telling people, like, they're like, you guys been friends forever? We're like, no. And she's like, she was dating my boyfriend. And I was like, she was dating my boyfriend. I was like, come on. But that's the thing. Like, it's the same thing with Divide, like, we could have hated each other. We could have just been like, nope, the boy is mine, and pulled a Brandy and Monica on this.
Right. That's a lot of, like, I don't really understand when it comes to relationships when somebody cheats, like, and then you like, so like a lot of situations somebody will stay with the cheater and then be like maybe even try to fight physically the
Right.
other person. And I mean obviously sometimes the other person does know about you,
There's some
but
shady.
and yeah, and so that makes it shady, obviously. But then there's also times where they don't know about you, and to like, I don't know, to hate them over the person that did it to you is really weird
Absolutely.
to me. I
Yeah.
mean, I know you love them and stuff, but like, it's still like I don't understand it personally.
Oh, that's where like talking and communication come in. And, she told me, she was like, I was kind of hurt that you were asking for screenshots. And I was like, I didn't know you. Like, I didn't know if it was like you guys were a fling and you're upset that he
Moved
declined you.
on.
I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And I was like, so I wanted proof. And she showed me all the proof of it. And that was the choice. So now I have like this ultimate best friend, technically because of her. That's why I'm here right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise I wouldn't have known about her brother's podcast and then your podcast. So I
Yeah.
love the way like things just happen. Just be a good person, talk it out, be like, all right, this dude sucks. I didn't know about you. And that's what it was, man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so we're creating a podcast off of just like, why are you hating each other? And maybe just talk about it. The dude was the issue, and it's not just like against dudes. No, there's some terrible women out there. Well,
Yeah.
terrible people. Terrible
Yes,
people.
there's terrible people in every group of people.
Yep,
So it's just like,
absolutely.
so you have a group of people that may not have malicious intent, but there's a small group within that group that are like, fuck everybody else, you know?
Right. That's why I'm
So,
having such a hard time with my sarcasm. Because from up north, like just quick wit and just making jokes and busting balls all the time. But I realized down south here, they're like, there's truth behind that. There's truth behind jokes. And I was like, no, there's not. Like, this situation happened, so I made a joke on it. I was
mhm.
like, there's no truth about it. Like, I don't feel that way about it. That's not my intention. I will say Amanda has been my guru over like, this is kind of how it comes off. And I'm like, oh, but I have to drop my stubbornness because even though that's not my intention and I don't mean it that way, if that's how even
It's
one
being
person is
perceived.
taking it,
Yeah.
yep, then that's up to me to go, all right, maybe I should watch my dry sarcasm.
Mhm. I have that sarcasm too. So, David has commented on it a few times, and he's like, "I think I'm finally getting and understanding your humor. Like, I know you don't mean it, blah 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 blah." And I'm just
Yeah,
like, "Yeah," because I'll say things completely
right.
like that, and he's like, "Is he serious?" And then I'll be like, "I'm just kidding, by the way." He's like, "Oh,
Yeah. You're like, I'm having the best time ever.
yep, exactly
But
like that."
yeah, that's why I'm kind of yeah, she's been my guru with that because she was just like, no, this is how it's proceed, and that's what I love. Like, and again, like if she didn't say anything, that would come between our friendship, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe down the line I might say something to somebody else, and they're gonna be like, yo, that Lindsay's the biggest asshole, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So have you had
Yeah.
any experiences down in San Antonio? Because I hear
Oh
San
no, you.
Antonio has quite a bit of hauntings.
Oh, I have my I don't want to screw up the name of it, but my favorite experience that I had down here. Um, so I moved down here and there's this fantastic tour group called Sisters Grimm,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a ghost tour, but not only do they do that, like they've written books, great. Oh yeah, like super great family. I think it's a brother and sister. Oh gosh, or it's a husband and wife, but they're just awesome and they're locals, awesome people. But my friend was visiting from out of town and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
let's do a touristy thing. I was like, let's get to know San Antonio. I was like, ghost tour it is. So we signed up for a ghost tour, and our person, his name is Lee. I'm still in contact with him. Best experience ever. Like our tour ended up going 3 hours. I think it's supposed to be an hour and a
Oh.
half. Um, but we were just talking so much and he was teaching us like history. Like I didn't realize Houdini did the large where he hung upside down in a straitjacket, that was done in San Antonio
Me
on a
neither.
corner street.
I'm just
Right?
learning this right now.
Yeah. I was amazed by it because it was a sheriff or somebody who was calling him like, whatever, you're not really a
A
magician, you
magician.
can't do this, blah blah blah. And he was like, all right, well then we're gonna get you a straitjacket and get yourself out of it while you're hanging upside down. And Dini's like, done. Like, let's go. Yeah, so that was done in the streets of San
Wow.
Antonio. So I was just like,
Wow.
what? But there is the governor's house. Now, understand when I moved down here, I didn't know any history. I didn't know anything about San Antonio besides the Alamo. That was it. So we go to this governor's house, And as we're standing there and Lee is telling us about he's getting into about how the wife was murdered and everything.
Mhm.
Well, as I'm standing there, all of a sudden I get the sharpest pain in my stomach and I'm down. Like I'm like holding myself down. I take myself away from the group because I was just like, did I just get kicked in the stomach? What happened? So I have to leave the tour group. And so I'm missing everything Lee is saying at this point. So he broke off the group to be like, all right, this is your time to take pictures and, walk around the grounds. He walks over to me and his first words were, are you a medium by any chance? And I was like, no-ish. And he was like, can you see ghosts? Can you communicate with ghosts? And I was like, yes. Because I was just like, where's this going? Like, I'm away from everybody. Like, I thought he was just trying to be nice. And he was like, you're having stomach pains, aren't you? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, it's like right here. He's like, does it feel like you just got stabbed? And I was like, yes. And he went, that's how she was killed, because she was stabbed in the stomach, and she will reach out and communicate to people who are either mediums or sensitive to the paranormal. And she gives you that feeling of what she was feeling. And
Wow.
yeah, because I had tears coming down. My friend Ken looked at me and I was like, just go. I was like, go do the thing. And I'm just like standing there like, oh, I was like, this hurts so bad. I was like, oh my God. And yeah, so he told me about that. And because I missed out on that whole conversation. So it's not like I heard him say that and me go, oh, I'm not feeling good. Nope. I had no idea. And that's why Lee and I became close, because he was just like, yo, you should work for Sisters Grimm. He's like, I'll get you an interview. He's like, you'd be great at this, especially if you're sensitive. He was like, you'll probably have a lot of activity come around you more for like, the guests who are viewing. And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, so I experienced that horrible, horrible feeling of her getting stabbed, and she reached out to me for it. She could have just been like, hey, by the way, I was stabbed. Like, we could have had a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I was stabbed in this room.
Just so you know. So I had to do the tour again because we had to move on. So I did the tour again so I could hear the story about what happened. And I did get stabbed again. Like, thanks. But this time I bared with it. So I was just like sitting there like, yeah, oh, all right, that's what happened. Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh man, are you gonna take the job if they offer it to you? Because your
So-
personality would be fucking phenomenal with it. Yeah, honestly.
Believe it or not, so that was right when I first moved down here. So that was 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, the summer of it. Yeah, I did the interview over the phone, but the problem was single mama. I didn't know anybody down here to watch my daughter. I was not going to put out a Facebook post to be like, hey, I got this really cool job. Who wants to watch my kid? So, and the hours were going to be nighttime, obviously, because it's nighttime tours.
Right.
So I told them, like, I was like, I would love this job, but I just moved here. I don't have any family. I don't have anyone. And they're like, yeah, maybe. So then last year, my friend Kim again, she comes to town and her boyfriend never did the tour. So we're like, Sisters Grimm, let's go. So we went there, and then it was the owner. So she was there. And again, I think it was her husband or her brother. I feel really, really bad. I don't remember. But he and I just start chit-chatting because he was like, oh, have you ever done this before? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, Lee is the best. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, here's what happened. And then I told him about like the stabbing incident. And he was like, you should work here. And I was like, I know, but like, I'm with you on that one, man. I said, but at the time I had to decline it. So then the owner, so she was there too. And she was like, I vaguely remember you. She was like, yeah, we had a phone interview. And I said, yeah. And she's like, well, what are you doing now? Like, can you do this? You would be great for this. And I said, yeah. I was like, but now I live like over an hour away, and still childcare. Like my daughter's still super young.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's my dream job because I get to talk history and I can hang out with ghosts and just show like that enthusiasm of, hey, here's what happened. But during the whole tour, the only other encounter I had was at the Mengler Hotel. It's the hotel where Teddy Roosevelt, that's where he got the Rough Riders at the bar.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I love that story. Like, I just love it. The fact that he, paid everybody's tab, got them drunk, and then he was like, sup, you're part of the DMX Rough Riders now. Roll out. Let's do this, right? But yeah, so at the hotel, there's the maid there who was killed, and she just hasn't left her duties yet. So they're like, you see her roaming the hallways. Again, clear as day for me. I thought she was part of the staff, but I was like, why is she dressed like this? Oh, probably to keep upkeep with, the 1800s look and then early 1900s look. And then when they showed a picture of her, because they like had the tablets and they're like, this is her. And I was like, yeah, she's right there. Like she just walked by and everybody else was like, what? And I was like, no one? No. All right.
What the
So
fuck?
yeah, so I really want to stay there too, because that place has some mega activity. Like all of San Antonio, like a lot of the places we're learning about, there's some hardcore activity going on there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna, when I come down, I think I'm gonna talk David into staying a night and doing an investigation there with me.
Oh yeah. Well, there's also the Holiday Inn. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if I can say this, but the Holiday Inn, they did not demolish the building, but that was the building, that was the jail cell, and the last public hanging, I think it was either in Texas or America, happened in Texas in San Antonio. So we went to that street, but because of the gruesomeness of it, they're like, hey, we're going to move it to, the jail cell across here. We're going to make like a floorboard, trapboard, bickety bam. Well, as I said, they haven't demolished it. It's a hotel now, and people are still hearing screaming.
Oh my God.
Yep. Or they'll wake up and they say that they see somebody hanging. Yeah, I got to get you that address because I really want to stay there and do investigation as well. But that's at the Holiday Inn, but they don't announce it. They don't want it to be known. But they have their historic plaque. And what's crazy is on the windows, it still has the jail cell bars. They haven't removed them. So yeah, so I definitely want to go. I think it's the third and fourth floor, or the fourth and third floor. But they say that you hear the trap door, and some have heard screaming, or they see the apparition of it.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Man, that would be interesting to experience.
Oh, absolutely.
That would be fucking great to get on camera, like what you're seeing on camera.
Yeah.
Like the feet hanging. Even the scream would be fucking great to catch on audio.
Oh, I think the sounds would be remarkable to catch on audio. Absolutely. That's what
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm falling in love with San Antonio, because growing up in Philly, we had Independence Hall, we have the Betsy Ross House. We still have the original cobblestone roads.
Mhm.
And I love it. And then we have the churches of everything, but I would always get a lot of activity, especially at Independence Hall. And I was a kid, and when I would go visit, and I would just hear talking, like just, and I'm looking, and you have to be quiet on the tour. So there's nobody talking, but I'm hearing conversations happen. And I probably looked paranoid because I was just 11 years old, like, what is this? Like, what's happening? And then I talked to the person afterwards because my parents were like, all right, cool, go ahead and ask them questions. And they were like, yeah, they're like, people hear conversations. It's like someone's like just trying to talk to you. And then I remember I went to this one church, and as soon as I walked in, I heard get out, and I couldn't walk through. Like I couldn't walk down the, what's it called, the aisle to get up to the so there's a church in Philadelphia that there's a priest body that's on display in a glass casket. And I forget what his name is. But yeah, it's right in Philadelphia. They still have his body. They have like clothes over it.
What?
Yeah. And it's a beautiful church. It's beautiful. But when I walked in and before crossing the archway to walk down the aisle to go look at the casket, I heard, get out. Like clear as day, just get out. And I just stayed there. And my parents were like, come on, like, let's go, let's go. So that happened when, again, early teenage years. And then I went again in my 20s because I was like, did that happen? Did I make this up? Same thing. I went there again to do the tour, and clear as day, heard get out. And I respected
Wow.
it. I just stood there.
Mhm.
And I was just like, all right, I guess everybody else will do the tour. And I just made everybody else believe that I was so scared to go up to the casket. Like I was like, yeah, that's it. Because I'm not going to tell you. No, a voice just told me to get out. I was just told to get out. You guys do you. No, I was like, yeah, I'm scared. I don't want to cross this threshold here. Yeah, you should.
Mhm.
I'll get you the name of him. Yeah, it's really awesome. But yeah, his body is on display.
That's wild. That's absolutely crazy
Yeah.
to
Ever
me.
hear of the Mutter Museum?
No, I have not.
Bro, oh my God, come to Philadelphia. We're going to do a Philadelphia trip. The Mutter
All right.
Museum is a scientific medical museum that you go there. Like there's the left side brain of Einstein's brain is on display. You
Mhm.
walk in, there are skulls over like this person had trauma. This is cancer. Then they have like feet in jars. They have babies in jars. And it's all, yes, yes. And right. And it's all these medical discoveries of things that have happened, or because it's somebody's private collection or whatever, they'll make like a wax mold of it and detail it, but they'll have like the real picture next to it. So it'll be like, here's a foot of like, what is it called? Gangrene?
Gangrene.
Yeah. But when you walk in, and they stopped allowing photos, which really stink.
Mhm.
But when you walk in, you're greeted by this beautiful, just imagine Beauty and the Beast library and a glass bookshelf, but it's all skulls. Yeah.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah. That are like
That's
hundreds of
crazy.
years old. And then you work your way to the basement, and you have which is a sensitive matter, but you have like babies in jars and
Mhm.
other things that have happened. But they warn you about that now, which is good. They have like the skeletal frames of women who would wear corsets and how it like deformed. So yeah, it's amazing. It's my favorite place in the whole world.
That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool, like, but it like also sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
Uh, because you know, there's stories of like pickled punks, which are babies in jars, of like occultic ritual stuff in like during the World's Fairs times, and it's so that it intrigues me a lot, to be honest, and I wonder if there's like a name attached to like who did it, like who was like the
Oh
doctor
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, it's just like
Um,
all for medical. That's what I like. It's classy, and it's all um from medical like hospitals and
yeah.
things that have happened. And like the Siamese twins, they got the mold casts of them. I think it was after they died. So that's on
Okay,
display.
that's
And
interesting
then
too.
there's this woman called the Soap Lady, um, whose entire body, the best way to put it is it's like soap. She's on display. Something happened that when she died, her entire hey, her entire body turned into this material, and it looks like a giant soap scum material. And
Huh.
she's on display, and nobody could explain. Like they'll test it, you know what I mean? Like here and there, just to be like, all right, are we getting anything from it? But they don't have her age, they don't have anything. And when they found her, her body was already decompressing into this matter.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's called the Soap Lady. So if you research that, I'm sure you can find a lot of material on it.
God damn. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I didn't know this place existed. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And it's only like
A few hours from you.
a few hours, maybe 9 hours,
It's worth
probably.
it. That's like
So,
I'm still in Texas if I drive 9 hours.
yeah, you are. So, my last question for you is why San Antonio? Like, what drew you from being a fucking northerner to San Antonio, like specifically San Antonio?
I didn't choose it. Like life just happened
Uh-huh.
that way.
Okay.
For availability of rent and space.
I
So
gotcha.
it was just like if we're gonna go, like, honestly, I first moved to Fort Worth. That's where that was like my game plan, and I lived in Fort Worth for a hot second, and I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely loved Fort Worth. Um, I got a lot of activity at the Fort Worth stockyards.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they had all the cattle, where all the ranchers would come, but also they would get train robberies there because of all the cattle and the money on stocks. So it's cool because if you do that history tour, they'll show you the bricks that they have aside that you still see blood splatter from.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I love that, but I would get a lot of activity there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I moved to Fort Worth, and then divorce scooted me out of Fort Worth and just looking for a place to go. And San Antonio was like, sup with it. So I'm
What's
glad
up
for it.
with it?
Sup, girl? Come on
Well,
down. We got some history.
if you didn't go to San Antonio, you wouldn't have dated that guy, and you wouldn't have
Right?
met Amanda.
That's true. I'm happy
So,
for it.
mm-hmm. Absolutely. She seems great. From what David talks about her, she seems like an amazing person. So,
She's awesome. We just
but
crack each other up.
yeah, do you have a name for the podcast that you guys are going to be doing yet?
Yes, it's called Two Girls, One Trauma. Because
I love it.
yeah, back when she and I were like talking about it and just making jokes about this man. And of course, me being the jokester. And I was like, oh, it's like two girls, one cup. I was like, but two girls, one trauma. And she was like, that's gold. And then we're like, yeah, we should totally talk about this and talk about our experience and, how we could become best friends. And she immediately, like, she jumped on it. I was more like spitballing. And she was like, hey, guess what? We're doing this. We got a website. We got this. And I was like, what? We are? All right, let's go.
Nice.
Let's go. Yeah.
Nice.
So two girls, one trauma.
So you have a website. So what's the website?
I got to get my PR people on that one. I don't really know. But I do know our Instagram is two girls, one trauma.
All right.
That's for
All
sure.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
When do you have like a debut date at all, or?
I do not.
Okay.
That's Amanda on this one.
Okay.
I bring the jokes. She brings like the brains and everything else.
Good. Perfect.
It's a good team.
It is a good team. That's you always have one person that's really good at like communicating and making it fun, and then the other person that just knows everything else.
Yeah. And I was just like, all right, I'll follow your lead.
Yeah.
I'll just talk.
Perfect. Well, I can't wait for it to come out because I'll definitely be listening for sure. If you
Yeah,
guys make
man.
a trailer, I'll play it on my podcast too. I'll help
Well,
promote you guys.
you'll be my podcast guru, as I said.
I'm
Be
down.
like, I need all the help as I bring you over the House Bunny DVD. Be like,
Yes.
show me what to do.
I will. Because you would have to stay for a while if you come this far for a
Right?
DVD.
And then I'll be like, let's go to the museums. Let me show you the soap lady.
Yeah, I'd be down. Well, for the listeners, if you want to plug anything else, like your own Instagram, if you want people to follow you or whatever, that's totally up to you.
Nice. Yeah. Pretty Bones Jackson is my Instagram. Hey, wait, this was back in MySpace days where it was like use your initials to
Yep.
find out your New Orleans jazz name. So my initials made Pretty Bones Jackson. And I was like, done. This works.
That's fucking hilarious, first of all. Oh, man. All right. You guys out there, check her out. I should definitely check out her podcast when it comes out. Obviously, I'll let you know. But other than that, please like, follow, share, subscribe, leave a rating and review. That are the free ways to help this show grow. If your podcatcher doesn't allow you to leave a review or a rating, please consider doing so on the website where the weird ones are podcast.com. That is also where you can get merch just like this t-shirt behind me. And there's so many other designs out there that you can check out if you're interested. That is, you can also get hot sauce, coffee, and supplements. Also check out the short stories I've been writing. They're up there on the blog. I haven't written one in a little bit, but I should probably do that. But anywho, that is all I got for you. So, you know the drill. Question everything and stay weird.
In the quiet of the night, when the world feels far, there's a voice through the static, like a falling star. It calls the misfits, the dreamers, the ones who see the shadows in the corners, the truth we barely believe. From the pine tree woods to the desert skies, they talk of ghosts and aliens with wonder in their eyes, not afraid to ask the questions that others won't dare, 'cause the world gets strange when you stop and stare. Come gather around where the weird ones are, by the fireside glow or a midnight call, where the stories run deep and the secrets fly like owls in the dark or stars in the sky. If you've ever felt lost, like you don't belong, you found your place, you found your song, right here where the weird ones are. They'll talk of cryptids, time slips, and deja vu, of spirits that linger, and what might be true. But more than the monsters, it's the people you'll find who dare to be open with curious minds. It's not about fear, it's the thrill of the ride, to question the world with wonder as guide. So pull up a chair, let your freak flag fly, we're the seekers of truth beneath the sky. Yeah, come gather around where the weird ones are, on the moonlit thoughts and cosmic scars, where the veil feels thin a spark right here where the weird ones are. For the ones who wonder, for the ones who know, welcome home.